Hi, One SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 12 in college football. We are doing our regular series of calls with Jeff from BMOCmoves.com, who's been overall very profitable with us this year for free in our videos. Jeff, I thank you for that. You've chosen an interesting game here to cover with us this week, Georgia Southern and Georgia, right? Right now, Georgia's a 13.5-point favorite. And Georgia Southern, we know that they can hang with teams like this. Getting a lot of respect here. Georgia was a bigger home favorite against Kentucky, Missouri, and South Carolina this year. So 3 SEC teams Georgia was given more points to than Georgia Southern. But Georgia Southern, they upset Florida in 2013. They played competitively with Georgia Tech and North Carolina State last year. They are competitive with these kinds of teams. My sense here is that I might be leaning towards the under, right? Georgia has sort of abandoned the up-tempo offense that they had earlier in the year. They're going low scoring, going under recently, and Georgia Southern has a big running game, which probably will be somewhat successful, but that also Georgia will be able to stop to a certain extent as well. I'm leaning under, even though it is a low total, 50.5. Jeff from BMOCmoves.com, why'd you pick this game, and what do you like here?
Well, I mean, if you're, there's no secret. I'm sorry that I like Georgia Southern. I've mentioned them several times on the videos here. This is a very tough offense to
Yeah.
prepare for. They run that triple option. They lead the country in rush yards. Yes, they have more rushing yards than Navy. This is a very good rushing attack. You look at Georgia last week; they were gashed on the ground against Auburn. They have a big look-ahead rivalry in-state matchup against South Carolina next week. What is Georgia playing for at this point? Pride? What exactly are they playing for? Their coach is on his way out. They can't score. I mean, last 3 games, 16.5 points a game. That's just not going to get it done. Their quarterback play has been less than stellar. They have no idea what they're doing there. And like I said, I mentioned the issue. They haven't been able to stop the run recently.
Hmm.
I think this is way too many points. Georgia also not a very profitable ATS team. You look at Georgia Southern, 15-7 over the last 22 overall. I don't quite get this line. Georgia Southern is slept on here. You mentioned it, Peter. They beat Florida. They were competitive last year in several big games. They were thorns and sides to many teams. I know a lot of people are going to say they got blown up by West Virginia. You got to remember, though, first game of the year,
Right.
and their quarterback wasn't playing, a guy that is the commander of that offense. This is a tough offense to get prepared for. Georgia has nothing to play for. They're going to sleepwalk. They'll probably win, but if Georgia Southern wins, I would not be surprised. This is
Right.
a good football team, good defense. I like the Eagles here. This is way too many points.
All right, excellent analysis, Jeff. And do you see this one being relatively low scoring or high scoring? I mean, do you see that
Well,
that Georgia Southern will be able to move the ball, but maybe get stopped, get held down half the time by Georgia, or do you think that maybe they might really rack up the points?
Well, Peter, here's the thing. You're playing with fire a little bit because Georgia Southern can usually be really good, or that if that rush offense isn't working, they could be really bad. So I'm going to leave the total to you because I've
Hmm.
learned over the years you're pretty damn good with totals.
Yeah.
But if you had a gun to my head and said pick it, or I'm going to blow your head off, I would take the under here as well. I think two, especially Georgia and an inept offense, two pretty good defenses. This is like a 27-20 type of game. I
Right.
don't think he gets into the 30s either way. So I would take the under as well if I had to. But I'll go with
Excellent,
Georgia
excellent
Southern.
analysis from Jeff from BMOCmoves.com, leaning like in Georgia Southern, current line 13.5. It'll be interesting to see where this line moves by kickoff. Jeff from BMOCmoves.com. They're calling you the Mac Daddy now because you're killing those Mac games. Those can be very
Yes, sir.
profitable games, but also tricky for people who don't know how to approach them. Tell us a little bit more about what you do at BMOCmoves.com.
Yeah, they call me the Mac Daddy. I am, to me, well, to everyone, the king of Mac football. 10-3 over my last 13. I've been killing the Mac all year. It's a tough conference to cap, but I've learned, in my opinion, it's one of the easier ones to cap.
Hmm.
We're also killing college basketball to start the season, 60% overall early on. We've also done very well in college football. Another winning week last week. Hit our big play on Washington State. They win the game outright.
Yeah.
Also hit our big play on Arkansas State over the posted total. Come join us. This is the perfect time. MAC games still to come. Don't miss another play. Come join me at bmocmoves.com.
Thanks, Jeff.